Good morning, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I am back to read more short stories from George and Martha, and I'm also going to read a Paw Patrol story this morning. This George and Martha is called The Tooth. This is a story of two great friends. One day, when George was skating to Martha's house, he tripped and fell, and he broke off his right front tooth. His favorite tooth, too. When he got to Martha's, George cried his eyes out. "Oh, dear me," he cried. "I look so funny without my favorite tooth." There," said Martha. "There he is. Only one tooth and a missing tooth." The next day, George went to the dentist. The dentist replaced George's missing tooth with a lovely gold one. See, there's his gold tooth right there. How many of you have been to the dentist? When Martha saw George's lovely new golden tooth, she was very happy. "George," she exclaimed, "you look so handsome and distinguished with your new tooth." And George was happy too. "That's what friends are for," he said. They always look on the bright side, and they always know how to cheer you up. "But they also tell you the truth," said Martha with a smile. It was really nice of Martha. Okay, and this other story is called The Dance Recital. Another tale of George and Martha. George and Martha were having a disagreement. "I think dancing is silly," said George. "Dancing is not silly," exclaimed Martha. "Dancing is fun, and if you don't come to my dance recital, I'll be very angry." There he is on the phone with Martha. So, of course, George went to Martha's recital. "I'm going to not like this," he said to himself. There he is, waiting at the recital for it to start. But what a surprise for George! Martha's dance of the Happy Butterfly was so impressive. "Dancing looks like fun," said George. All right, there she is on the stage in her butterfly costume. The next day, George went to a dancing class. "You see," said Martha, "dancing is fun." So he thought he would try it out. Very soon, George was in his own dance recital. Martha said that his Mexican hat dance was the best she'd ever seen. The end. Okay, everybody, I am going to read a Paw Patrol story. This is called Marshall to the Rescue. It was an exciting day at the lookout. A flock of geese was stopping overnight to rest. Rocky built a big nest for the birds to sleep in. Rubble used his shovel to fill the nest with bread for them to eat. Marshall was so excited he accidentally tumbled into the nest. "The geese are coming," he shouted. The geese flew in and landed honking happily. Honk, honk. They started pecking at the pieces of bread right away. One tired goose settled down into the nest to relax. "She likes your nest, Rocky," Ryder said, patting the pup on the head. Rocky smiled, proud of his good work. There they are, working on the nest. But a baby goose wandered away from the rest of the flock. He waddled into a blue bucket and rolled down the hill. "I'll get him," Marshall announced, racing after the bucket. But as he ran, his feet got tangled up, and Marshall and the little gosling ended up bouncing down the hill. Oops! There they are, bouncing down the hill. When they reached the bottom, they were both a little dizzy. The gosling's eyes rolled around. "Are you okay, fuzzy little guy?" Marshall asked. "Cheep, cheep," the goose replied with a nod. "Hey," Marshall explained, "Fuzzy is a great name for you." He nudged the gosling with his nose. "Back to your family, Fuzzy." Marshall took Fuzzy back up the hill to the lookout. "Nice work, Marshall," Ryder said. Marshall introduced the little goose to the rest of the Paw Patrol. Fuzzy liked all the pups, but Marshall was definitely his favorite. Sky chuckled. Marshall, it looks like you have a new BGFF. Best goose friend forever. All the pups laughed. For the rest of the day, the two friends did everything together. The little goose followed Marshall everywhere he went. When Marshall washed his fire truck, Fuzzy polished the window with his tail feathers. See, he's helping out Marshall. Until Marshall accidentally washed the little goose with his hose. Oops, Marshall said. Sorry, Fuzzy. That evening, Marshall walked back to the nest with Fuzzy on his head. Okay, Fuzzy, he said, bending so Fuzzy could hop off. Time to hit the hay or the nest. Fuzzy jumped up and down on Marshall's head. Cheep, cheep. He didn't want his new friend to leave. I suppose I could sleep here, Marshall said, but just this once. He curled up, and soon they were both asleep. First thing the next morning, while Marshall was still asleep, Fuzzy wandered off looking for food. He was hungry. When Marshall woke up, he looked around for his friend. No, Fuzzy. He called his name, but the goose didn't answer. Marshall ran to Ryder. Fuzzy is gone, he said. We have to find him before his flock leaves. Ryder called the Paw Patrol to the lookout. Our goose friends have to fly south for the winter, he explained, but they're missing one little goose. If we don't find Fuzzy fast, they'll have to leave without him. Chase, I need you to call Fuzzy with your megaphone. Marshall, Fuzzy would follow you anywhere. I need you to help look for him too. See here, look at all these geese right here. The question mark is where Fuzzy would have been in the flock when they're flying. Outside the lookout, Chase broadcasted goose honk through his megaphone, but Fuzzy didn't answer. Marshall sniffed the ground, searching for clues. He found one of Fuzzy's feathers. Ryder picked it up, and Chase took a whiff. Achoo! Chase sneezed. Sorry, I'm a little allergic to feathers. He took a few more sniffs, sneezed, and announced he went this way. Marshall, Chase, and Ryder jumped into their vehicles and raced across Adventure Bay. Their sirens blared as they followed Fuzzy's feather trail. It was an emergency. Suddenly, Marshall heard chirping. Fuzzy was on the roof of the train station. He had a piece of bread in his beak, and two seagulls were trying to steal it. Fuzzy, fly down here, Marshall called. He can't, Ryder said. A plastic soda ring is wrapped around his wing. Marshall, use your ladder to help get Fuzzy down. Uh-oh. See, this is the plastic soda ring. Gotta be careful with our trash. Marshall extended the ladder on his fire truck, which scared away the seagulls. He climbed up the ladder, but Fuzzy slipped on the edge of the roof and fell off. Use your helmet, Ryder cried. Marshall caught Fuzzy in his fire helmet. Sweet catch, Marshall, Ryder cheered. See, look, he caught Fuzzy in his hat. Now, let's get this off of you, Ryder said, carefully pulling the plastic ring from Fuzzy. He was free again. The gosling flapped his wings, flew into the air, and landed on Marshall's head. Marshall laughed. The Paw Patrol raced back to the lookout. They had to get there before Fuzzy's flock flew away. But they were too late. The geese had just left. Fuzzy would have to flap fast to catch up to them. But Fuzzy didn't want to go. And Marshall didn't want him to leave either. A little gosling belongs with his family, Ryder said. Marshall agreed, and Ryder quickly came up with a plan to return Fuzzy to his flock. Let's take to the sky, Sky exclaimed as her helicopter rose into the air, lifting Marshall in a harness. Cheep, cheep! Fuzzy flapped his wings and followed Marshall through the sky. Soon, they caught up with the flock of geese. Goodbye, Fuzzy, Marshall called as Fuzzy joined the flock. Have a safe flight, you silly goose. There he is with his family. Back at the lookout, the pups played a jump rope. You guys did an awesome job today, Ryder said. What a bunch of good pups. Marshall missed Fuzzy, but he knew his little friend would visit whenever his family flew ahead. Until then, Marshall had his possum pup pals to keep him company. See, hanging out with his friends playing jump rope. I'm going to do one more. This is called High Flying Sky. Sky was flying high over the lookout. She was really excited because her hero, stunt pilot Ace Sorensen, was coming to the air show in Adventure Bay. "Trick flying is the best," she exclaimed. Down on the ground, Marshall wasn't sure he agreed. "The only things I like to fly are kites," he said. See, there's Marshall with his kite. Ryder got a call on his pup pad. It was Ace Sorensen, the stunt pilot. Her plane was having engine trouble, and she needed the Paw Patrol's help in finding a place to land. "We're on it," Ryder declared. "No job is too big, no pup is too small." See, there's Ace Sorensen on his pup pad. Ryder called the pups to the lookout and told them about Ace. He needed Sky's helicopter and night vision goggles. "This pup's gotta fly," Sky shouted, eager to help her hero. Ryder also needed Chase to make a runway with his spotlight and traffic cones. "Chase is on the case," he barked. Finally, Ryder asked Rocky to help fix Ace's plane. "Green means go," Rocky cheered. The sun was setting as Sky zoomed through the clouds in her helicopter. She scanned the sky with her night vision goggles and spotted Ace's plane. There she is now. Black smoke poured out of the plane's engine, making it hard for Ace to see. Sky flew in front of her. "Follow me," she called, leading the way to Farmer Yumi's farm. At the farm, Ryder, Chase, and Rocky prepared a runway for Ace to land on. Chase set up his orange safety cones to mark off the landing strip. "Great job, Chase," Ryder said, "but Ace will need to see this runway in the dark." "Rocky, do you have any old flashlights in your truck?" Ryder asked. "I've got a bunch," Rocky said. He taped the flashlights to the cones with Ryder's help. Ryder called Sky on his pup pad. "Watch for the runway lights." "Roger that," Sky answered. See, there's the cones, and they put the flashlights up so that they can shine into the sky. Sky zoomed through the night and spotted the glowing landing strip. But when she and Ace started to fly down toward it, she heard a loud boom. Ace's plane shook. Sparks sizzled along the wing. "I'll have to parachute out," Ace radioed to the team. Uh-oh. That's not good. But Ryder thought parachuting in the dark was too dangerous. "Ace, have you ever done the wing walking stunt?" he asked. "Ace is the greatest ring walker in the whole world," Sky reported. "Awesome," Ryder exclaimed. He told Sky to lower her tow line and safety harness. Ace climbed onto the wing. Sky lowered her safety harness, but Ace couldn't reach it. I'm going to jump with my parachute," Ace called. "No, we can do this," Sky insisted. She flew as close to Ace as she could, and the stunt pilot grabbed the harness. As Sky flew her to the farm, Ace called Ryder. "Could you check on Amelia?" "Sure," Ryder said. "But who's Amelia?" "My plane," Ace answered. Ryder tracked the plane on his pup pad and saw that it was heading for the bay. "Let's get Amelia before she sinks." All right, so Ace is all safe, but now they're off to get the plane. Sky gently set Ace down at the farm. "Thanks, Sky," Ace called. "No problem, Ace," the pilot pup called back. To herself, she whispered, "I can't believe I saved my hero." At the bay, Amelia, the plane, landed in the water. Splash! Ryder rode out to the plane and hooked a cable to it. Chase, let's go. Chase, let's get Amelia to the beach before she sinks." "I'm on it," Chase called. He turned on his wrench and pulled the plane to shore. "Amelia's in pretty rough shape," Ace said when he saw her plane. "I don't think she'll be ready for the air show tomorrow." That would take a whole team of mechanics. Teammates reporting for duty, Rocky said. The Paw Patrol used all their tools to fix Amelia in no time. Wow, Ace said. She's as good as the first day we flew together. Thanks, team. The pups barked and howled. Whenever you need a paw, just yelp for help, Ryder said, laughing. All right. Her plan's all fixed. Because she's gonna go to the show and she's gonna do some stunts. I can't wait for the air show tomorrow, Sky said. Ace hopped onto one of the wings. How would you like to see my wing walk and roll trick up close and personal? Sky thought that sounded great. The next day was sunny and warm. The Paw Patrol watched the air show from the beach. Except Sky. She got to watch from the back seat of Ace's plane. While she worked the controls, Ace did her amazing wing rock and roll trick. Way to go, Ace, Ryder shouted. See, look, there's Sky and there's Ace on the wing. Wow, Rocky gasped, watching Sky zoom through the clouds. She's so good. You're all good pups, Ryder said. The pups cheered and barked for each other as Sky and Ace zipped overhead. All right, everybody, I will be doing some more reading tomorrow. Stay tuned and happy St. Patrick's Day. Bye.